Yo, yo. I'm gonna let this boot up for a bit. It's been a while since I streamed on PlayStation. Gotta remember it takes like 5, 10, 20 seconds to like exist for real. And I'm only booting up this game just because I need to boot up something to stream, and I can't just sit and yap. I need to like move my hands. So Assassin's Creed is like the most brain dead thing I can play while talking. Um So yeah, I'm here to talk about the whole Minneapolis school shooting, bro. 'Cause I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. It's on my mind, and I'm a very opinionated person, and this shit is pissing me off in like a ton of different ways, right? Like I'm sick and tired of seeing these shootings, right? I'm sick and tired of it, and then I'm just sick and tired of how people go about it. It's always on some bullshit about. It's always like political, like what was it like? There was some one guy, like this one, like this guy who's known as being like super leftist or whatever on Twitter, who was talking about how prayers and what like prayer becomes a problem because like those kids were literally praying and whatnot, and look what it did, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's like blaming, and like, look, I understand victim blaming because look, I will hold people accountable to putting themselves in retarded situations. All right, like I'm sorry, but like the hitchhiking girls in like the 70s when hitchhiking was popular, and you know what I'm saying? Like they had like some of the most horrendous things happen to them during the 70s. At what line do you just accept that like at the end of the day you took rides from strangers? You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta hold some level of accountability at some point. It doesn't diminish what was done to them. It doesn't diminish the evils that happened, but it's like, all right, at the end of the day, if you decided to fucking walk instead of going with a stranger, that wouldn't have happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Might have been a 20-mile hike, but you got yourself in the position to be 20 miles away from home to where you needed to go to a fucking stranger, and at that point, he did evil shit. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked. I don't even know where I'm at right now. And the Minneapolis shit is like, but they're trying to do that, but it's like, bro, it's literally kids that were at a church praying, uh, like, and in excitement for the first week of school. Like, it was like a first week of school celebration. And and you're victim blaming them? Like, nah, bro, like, that's not okay, dog. That is not okay. It's so fucked. And, the shooter is so depraved. Like, it's ridiculous. I only read like half the manifesto because I had so much to say from like reading the first half that I found the other half to be like not necessary. Oh shit. Oh. I found the other half to just not be necessary whatsoever. I was just like, I mean, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying like I had so much to say off the first half. I didn't even pay attention to the second half. So I'm just not going to speak on what I don't know about the second half of the manifesto. But what I do know is that, yeah, bro, it's just some fucked ass shit. Let's see, like, first off, the dude was talking about some, oh, by the way, if I misgender at all, I promise you I couldn't give a damn. I promise you I couldn't give a damn. But I'll get more into that when I talk about my more generalized thoughts. But I couldn't give a fuck about none of that shit. What was I on about? Damn, they fucked me up. What else? Whatchamacallit? Oh, I was on train of thought. Oh yeah. He was talking about some, oh, I'm sorry to my close friends and family. I'm sorry to my parents. You know, they're not failures. They raised me right. No, the fuck they didn't. You literally went and shot up a place. They clearly failed. That's like That's like one of the most textbook ways to fail as a parent. Period. You know what I'm saying? They failed. And two, fuck everybody who was close to you. Fuck your parents. Fuck your grandparents. Fuck your siblings if you had any. Fuck any lovers you might have had at the moment. All of them, all of y'all. You're all guilty by association, to some degree whatsoever. Who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know what? I don't even want to. I don't even care about none of this. I don't even care about none of this. Can I get out of this cutscene? I didn't want to talk to this guy. Oh my god, now I gotta go through this cutscene. Hurry up, dog. I have shit to say. Hurry up, bro. How do I skip this cutscene? Can I skip? No, I can't. Fine. Whatever, brave, cool, whatever. Come on. Oh my god, hurry the fuck up, bruh. I'm not talking over some fucking Japanese voice actor. Oh my god.
実はトミに話を聞いてきたんじゃが。
何？トミには借りがあるんだ。
Come on, hurry up, get on my face.
トミは私の力になってほしい。借りもそれで帳消しとなろう。欠けた心も直す術が見つかるやもしれん。
ここに未練はない。
Alright, cool, whatever. I accidentally completed an objective. That's nice, I guess.
よし、待っておるぞ。
Alright, here's the cutscene. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright, bet. So yeah, all them bitches, they all guilty by association. Your parents fucked you up, and they fucked him up because, one, they also signed his papers to change his name legally as a 17-year-old. Because, you know, you can't do none of that shit without getting parental consent. So any operations he may have had, the name change, all done by the parents. So yeah, like they just encourage it, like they just let that shit happen, which is so dumb. All those drugs that they put you on to help you during your transition fucks you up. It is biological warfare. It is hormones versus hormones, clashing this, clashing that. I'm not even going to pretend to know everything about that, because I haven't done my research on that. Why? Because I don't ever plan to become trans. I don't ever plan to do any of that shit. So, unless I pick up knowledge from, like, trans people I meet, like at work or some shit like that, I'm never gonna know. But, I don't need to be a doctor to know how, like, that biological warfare, at least on the basic level, is just not good for you. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, being trans in the first place could be a mental issue in its own, because you feel like you're in the wrong body. You're like, oh, nah, this shit is messed up. I'm in the wrong one. What do you, like, is that not a mental issue in itself? You know what I'm saying? And then, it's never just the one. They always come with, at least from the ones I've, like, all the trans people I've met, they all have mental issues. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not rounding up. Throughout all of high school, college, work, trainees I met on, like, anywhere else, they all have these issues. They always, all of them, come with the standard depression, anxiety duo. All of them. A decent amount of them are on the spectrum, like autistic or Asperger's on the spectrum some way, somehow. And then some of them have OCD, some have PTSD, you know what I'm saying? At that point, it varies. But the base set is, if you want to debate whether being trans itself is a mental illness, which I absolutely would say it is, and then depression and anxiety is the base kit. And then you add that biological warfare, fighting against your own biology to fake some biology, and you have a serious thing for, like, disaster. And then there also, I have not met a trans person who has anything positive to say about God. Because again, they think they're in the wrong body. They think it's a mistake or an unfair cruelty at worst. You know what I'm saying? I have yet to meet a Christian trans person, you know what I'm saying? Or a Muslim trans person, a Jewish trans person. It's not even like they say, oh, fuck Christianity because Christianity's so strict, I'm gonna be a Jew or I'm gonna be a Muslim. No, none of that. None of that. I haven't met a Buddhist tranny. I haven't met a Hindu tranny. I mean, actually, it might be the same thing. My bad. Maybe it's not. I can't remember my Asian history class type of stuff. But, you know, regardless, I have not met a single one. Ever. I've never heard of a single one. Ever. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're devoid of any of that stuff whatsoever. You know, and like Buddhism and Hinduism isn't even about like a god. It's more like enlightenment. At least Buddhism is more like personal enlightenment. They don't even follow personal enlightenment. Not even like Taoism or anything. Like nothing whatsoever. Just that they feel trapped. Like that's their mentality, is that they're trapped. And then in high school, there wasn't a lot of trans people that were able to do a lot about it because you're still a minor. But even now as an adult, I work with like a couple, I think I've worked with two, like 20-something-year-old trans people who can actually make progress with their doctors to go on with their transition, and they're still mad. They will come to work and be like, yeah, I just got approved for more testosterone, and and I'm on my path to take testosterone, and then I'm gonna start working out in like a year's time when I have enough, and they'll go through their whole plan, and they'll still be mad, they'll still be sad, they'll still be unhappy about it. Even when they make progress to what they ideally say they want, they're still unhappy about it. And I'm saying all this to describe just how mentally and physically fucked like a general trans person could be, right? And then it's like you give them all these weapons, bro. It's like, what the hell? So they're against God, and I have yet to find I think I've met two trans people that have a neutral opinion on God. You know what I'm saying? They have a neutral opinion, which is relatively rare. But the other ones, it's like they all make an enemy out of God. And because they're making an enemy out of God, you would think, okay, if you hate God so much, take it up with him. Take it up with him, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hate him. No. What they want to do is they want to take out Christians and shit like that. They want to label us as Nazis. Well, I say us, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm my personal religious shit is complicated at best, I would say. So I guess I can't really say us, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not anti-God by any means. I would like to be closer, but I think I have too much fire in me to like start that yet. I gotta like chill out. And then I'll be able to work on that. So that's my thing. So I can't really say us, but they see Christians as enemies. And only Christians, mind you, you know what I'm saying? I have yet to see one attack a mosque or a synagogue. Just Christians. Alright. And then they decide, you know what? They're gonna go for the weak and vulnerable and shoot up the kids. They're gonna label Christians as the enemy and decide, I'm gonna get back for shit that never happened by shooting up kids and the people who are vulnerable, and then they take the coward's way out every single time. Every single time. So it's just like, bro. And this person was so fucked. Like, on the guns, one of the magazines said, "Where is your God?" One of the other magazines said, so what is it? This is for the kids, or something. It said something about like the kids, and I'm pretty sure it's like, this is for the kids. Then there, on one of the guns, it was talking about kill Trump, yada yada. Bro, it's all like, damn, bro. Like, bro, people, like, it's like they put all the blame on God, but they can't shoot God, so they shoot Christians, but they don't want to shoot, they don't even want to shoot adults. Like, bro, like, as bad as it is to even go on like a mass murder tirade and shoot adults, like, as far as what I've seen in society, people like gloss over it if you're not a child. Like, if you're not a child and an atrocity happens to you, it's like, damn, that sucks. And that's kind of as big as it gets in society. But as soon as it's kids is when people go rabid. I mean, for good reason. But like, the level of care between kids and adults is so drastic that that it's like, they choose kids on purpose. They choose kids on purpose. Like, these are the types of people that choose kids on purpose when they could not do that. But they just do. Just to make a bigger point. To be more selfish about it. It's so fucked. It's so fucked. And then this guy's manifesto, on top of like, being like, oh, I love my family and it's not their fault, bullshit. Which again, guilty by association. They're all gonna sit at Satan's round table with you when their time comes, for sure. At least I hope so. Whatchamacallit? Oh yeah, he said that some of the qualities he learned from his parents, I only remember two of them, was selfless sacrifice, and empathy. I don't remember what the third one was, but that is crazy. I mean, technically, I guess you are selfless sacrifice, because you did off yourself. So good for you, buddy. Good for you. But empathy? Empathy. Like, do you know how distorted your mind has to be to do this and think you have any sort of empathy whatsoever? Wait, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, you can't select and choose, what groups of people you have empathy for, and then just be like, yeah, one of my personal traits is empathy. You know, if you want it to be real and be like, yeah, I have empathy for most kinds of people, then that's a factual statement. But no, you want to be like, no, one of my core characteristics is empathy. I think two kids and 17 others would disagree. Yeah, bro, it's so fucked. What else? Yeah, man. And then, oh yeah, I think on one of the guns he had like a trans flag or some sort of like flag that said like equality. Dog, this is exactly like, bro. You already have, like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Like, again, a lot of this woke shit, I really do feel like it's some propaganda. And I hate to say that because it sounds like, oh, conspiracy theory, and then people turn their brains off. It's really not. It's really not. It's really not. Because, like, again, I'm just pointing out, the thing with me is I don't have a problem with trans people. I've just, again, I've noticed, what is it called? Pattern recognition. Just existing with the people I've seen in my life, with my experiences, it's pattern recognition. It's like, it's like being surprised. It's like being in a ghetto area in New York, and then finding out that a black dude robbed the local 7-Eleven. Shocker. You know what I'm saying? Shocker. You see that on the news all the time. Shocker. You know what I'm saying? Shocker. And again, it's not saying like, oh, black people rob stores. No, that's not the case whatsoever. It's just, you're not shocked that in a ghetto area, ghetto shit happens from ghetto-ass people in the area. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not shocked. It's not a shocker. That's just shit that happens. You know what I'm saying? This is just shit that happens, bro. A lot of trans people, they have a lot of mental health issues. Debatably, and I would say being trans in itself is a mental health issue. And they all stack and compound. And then you're taking all these compounds and all these medicines and all these drugs with a lot of people at a young age especially, which is fucking you up. It's not that hard to put 1, 2, and 3 together to realize, damn, these people are getting fucked up. And then, you know what I'm saying, they go on the internet and everyone's just fucking holding their hand and showing support for these mentally ill people, and that just only fuels them even further. And then they have all these delusions, and then they just have, like, the internet is the perfect place to fuel their delusions. That they're right. That Christians are the enemy, and yada yada yada. No, bro. You're fucking tweaking. But it don't matter, because they get coddled. They get coddled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with trans people who are fucking normal, but I have yet to meet one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like meeting whatchamacallit. Like, the difference between a gay dude and a straight dude, right? I don't care if a dude is gay, if he's still a normal ass dude. But as soon as you start doing that hella gay shit where, like, you're in crop tops and you're, like, fucking having your hand out like this with a purse and you're, like low-key, like, flirting with me, that's kind of weird. I don't like that, personally. That makes me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be around that. You know what I'm saying? But if I found out that some dude I was having a good time with, he's cool, he likes to chill, and we have similar interests, and then, but he's gay. Okay. As long as he doesn't have a thing for me, I'm cool. And if he does, I mean, no thanks. But I'm not gonna, like, beat your ass about it. You know what I'm saying? Unless we're chilling and you drink a little bit too much and you start trying to rub shit on me. Okay, at that point you're gonna have to catch it with, like, a stiff left. But that's an extreme situation that's, like, likely never gonna happen. You know, like, no. So it's like, I have no problem. It's just, so, like, apply that same shit to, like, trans people, bro. If trans people could just be trans without like giving their mental health issues to, like, everybody else as a problem, I wouldn't care. And that's another thing. If you want to do what you're going to do, don't make it everyone else's problem. Growing up as Gen Z, everyone else's problems have been forced to be my problem. Or you don't care. Bro, I don't have to be an ally of anybody. That's the beauty of America. You can do what you want. You can have the pronouns you want. You can go by whatever name you want. And unfortunately, if you want to be like 16, 17 and go trans, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, once you're like 18, you're also technically an adult. And I would still say, personally, I would say you're way too young to be doing surgeries and shit at 18 when your brain isn't done developing until 25. But at 18, you're legally an adult. So at that point, the wind is in your fucking sails. Do what you're going to do at that point. You know what I'm saying? Personally. But you can do whatever you want to do at the end of the day. But that also gives me the right. I don't have to give a shit. I don't have to call you by your pronouns because I don't subscribe to that. Again, pattern recognition. I think that most of them are mentally ill and that just bending the knee and supporting them is just like defending mental illness when these people just need help. They feel trapped in their own fucking body. What part of that is not a mental illness? You know what I'm saying? If this dude got help instead of support to be trans, this might not have never happened, and maybe he would have recovered. Or like, I'm not saying like, oh, like I don't want to sound like one of those scientists that like did electroshock therapy on gay people, try to like rehabilitate them. But like, again, if we're going that it isn't a mental illness, then like there's got to be some sort of help that you can go through to feel comfortable in your own skin. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not dealing with like the low hanging fruit of, oh, I think guys are cute or whatever. We're dealing with you don't feel comfortable in your own body. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a problem. Especially since we consider so many other things. Like if we consider ADHD a mental illness or something like that, then like we gotta consider like trans being a mental illness. Like we gotta like, if there's treatment and medication for ADHD, there has to be something for trans, or if it's not invented yet, we got to get on that like stat instead of just supporting the delusion that everything's fine, because clearly it's not fine. Now, and I'm not even going to pretend like the news is doing any justice to anybody. The news is a bunch of propaganda one way or another. So like, yeah, like for every like one shooting that gets on the news, there's like 12 others that don't. Like if you look at the end of year statistics for how many school shootings happen versus how many you see in the news, you're like, wow, there was a lot that I never even heard of. You know what I'm saying? Because they find the ones that are stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, guarantee you, every time that there's a trans person shooting up a place, you will see about it. You will hear about it. But if it's just like some random Hispanic, white, or black dude, and they don't feel like pushing anti-black, anti-Hispanic agenda, like, okay, during the Trump administration, if like a Mexican kid shot up a school, you'll probably see that. But maybe during Biden's administration, you probably wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, they pick and choose what stories they want to push out. So like, but like, it doesn't matter what side you're on, they're gonna push trans every single time. So I'm not gonna pretend like it's only trans people or that trans people are the #1 offenders. You know what I'm saying? That's just being illogical. That's just being like stupid to assume that. Now, I haven't seen the statistics. Now, if the statistics of all shootings say otherwise, then you just lose. Then you're kind of cooked. Like if we look at like the 150 that happen every year, and trans people are the majority, then you know that's real tough. But I'm gonna say the benefit of the doubt that it's not all of them. But it's still enough. And then it's always for the same shit. And then the news, bro, the news doesn't even classify this as a hate crime. Again, it's that like anti-white shit. It's anti-white, anti-Christian, because it's like, that's traditional. White Christian is traditional. Nobody really likes traditional here in America, at least. Everyone sees it as a bad thing, you know. Like, again, I don't know for any other Gen Zers, but growing up, if you would like flex your ethnicity, you'd be like, I'm this, I'm that. If you didn't have, I know a couple white people that were in my high school friend group that like they don't really have an ethnicity, and they kind of felt left out, and they were kind of like picking at bones here to try to find something to not be labeled as white trash, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, people always got to be flexing that they're not white. There's like so much like, as long as you're not white, you're good. You know what I'm saying? There's all that bullshit. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at what the chief of police from Minneapolis said where he called it like a random, like violent tragedy. But if this was a mosque, or if this was a what's it called, a mosque or a mosque or a synagogue, it would be labeled as a hate crime. You know, anti-Islam, anti-Semitic. But let it be Christian, and it's just a random act of violence. When it's just a hate crime. Like it's cut and dry. It's a hate crime. You know, but so it's like the news is adjusting it in their own way. So I don't want to be fair to trans people, I don't want to like label them as all evil or whatever. And I have met some decent trans people. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else I said stands. Like they still have mental health issues, and they're still struggling with everything, and they were still mad even after getting progress on their transition. But as far as like working and being around them went, and their personality as people when being trans wasn't part of the equation, they were perfectly fine. Like they were good people. Honestly, one of the trans people that I knew was like my Jedi master at work. You know, trained me up on the job, and we were cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool until they left to go somewhere else. You know, do their own thing. So I'm not gonna pretend like they can't be nice people or anything like that. But they be up to some fuck shit sometimes because of their mental health issues, and it's just like instead of blindly supporting these mental health issues and just going along with it and being an ally, we just need to look at it, bro. The pattern recognition is there. The signs are obviously there. This is fucked. And then with this guy in particular, he was so fucked, bro. Like he had all the bells and whistles. Christianity is the enemy. Trump is the enemy. You know, delusional to think. You know, and delusional as it was like every single bell and whistle was there, and it's so fucked. And then I saw people turning this into like a gun issue. Can we move on from the guns? All right, guns are a core part of America. Fighting on guns is like. It's literally like an impossible task. Fighting on guns is you're not gonna get anywhere. All right, the best we can do is try to restrict who gets firearms, like have more like screening, but that only goes so far. Because what if one moment you're fine, but next year you crash the fuck out? You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna check up on you every so often to make sure you're not a crash out, you know? And you don't even have to get it the legal way. You don't have to get it the legal way. There is more guns than people in this country by like, I think it's more than 2 to 1. I think it's more than 2 to 1. Or like what was it just like every household has like 2 point something guns in it? Or something like that? Like there is more guns than people. And a lot of them are illegal. Like most of them are illegal. Okay, maybe not most, but like a lot of them are illegal. So you can just go get a gun. Your relative probably has a gun. So enacting any of these restrictive laws isn't really gonna do much in the short run. Maybe in the long run, like over like decades. But I don't know. I don't know. So like the gun issue is like crazy work. I don't know what we're gonna do about it. I try to focus on every other aspect other than that, because like the gun issue is like the most uncontrollable aspect. There's no good way to do it, and honestly, I don't want guns to go. I really don't, because criminals are gonna use them to be criminals no matter what. They're gonna find a way to get them. But I'm not gonna lie, like there's other shit going on in the shadows, like there's like the police state, you know what I'm saying? Like again, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. It's just pattern recognition. Like you can notice these behaviors, you know what I'm saying? Like look at what's going on and analyze it, and you can make up your own conclusions. Okay, make up sounds like they come out of nowhere, but like you can come to your own conclusions. Like I remember, what was it, like a month or so ago, where Trump was putting whatchamacallit, was it the National Guard or just the straight up? No, the National Guard is the branch of the military. So yeah, I think it was the National Guard just out in DC to act as extra patrol, to act as extra cops. They were basically just going to be support to help cops in Washington DC, where all the elites are at, where the White House is at, where the Pentagon is at, where he's at. He wants extra security where he's at, but where's the security anywhere else? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to have the military roaming the streets, acting as police officers in America? You know how, like, police state that sounds? You know how military that sounds? Are you serious? You know how third world country fucking wartime occupation that shit sounds? And, like, if we're gonna have the military just out and about, then actually put them in places that matters. Like schools. What? Like, if we had one, like, schools have parking lots, usually, right? Have one of those parking spots be like one of those army buggies, have it like super locked up with like 3 or 4 different kinds of locks, and have like a couple firearms in there, but again, it's locked up, bulletproof windows. Like, we want to make sure that like no stupid ass kid can get in it and get the guns on school campus, right? But if it's secured and it's locked up, and we have like maybe 2 military personnel on these schools, one, they're part of the fucking military, less people are gonna fuck with military personnel than cops. Or like a school police officer or whatever. And 2, if shit goes down, we already have military trained and military armed people on standby instead of a fat security officer. You know what I'm saying? School officers are so ass. And then again, they can have buttons. There's probably a panic, and then maybe install panic buttons in schools. That way, if like something happens, the people in the office can just press a under the desk button, and it just automatically pings the police department. It's not hard. All it comes down to is national pride. These elites don't want to live in reality. They're not focused about fixing the problem. They're focused on making sure that our PR looks good. Because why is that shit not installed? Like, they don't want the news to get out that we're installing safety buttons in schools. They don't want people to see that we have military stationed at elementary schools and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bad look. You want to know what's a worse look? Dead kids. You want to know what's a worse look? Glancing over hate crimes. You want to know what's a worse look? Fighting over the pettiest side of politics when that doesn't matter. Who cares about gun control when there are kids dead? You know what I'm saying? What, bro? Like, why are we talking about gun control now when that should have been done before? And even then, like I said, I think that's like a worthless topic. It's a worthless topic because it never goes anywhere. There's no real solutions. And it's like, I'm sure that there might be something, but no one's going to be happy. If there is a solution, no one's going to be happy about it. Because the people who really like guns and think that they're core to America are going to be pissed that any sort of regulation is out there. And the people who want guns like erased aren't going to get exactly what they want. It's a lose-lose, and because it's going to be like a half-assed thing. Now maybe this, and then again, criminals are always going to get them. Like, you can lower the restrictions on getting new guns in new buyers' hands. That's what you can do. You can't control the underground market. You can't control whether these people that have guns already have them locked up properly, or don't decide to just give them to their relatives, thinking, oh, he's just going to go hunting on the weekend, but really he planned to go shoot up the school on the weekend because there's a football game or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that. You don't know that. There's so many ways around any sort of policies they can invoke. It's just like, it's almost not, I'm not going to say it's not worth it, it's almost not worth it. It is just fucked up shit, and I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it, bro. And then, again, I'm sick of people taking up the dumbest stances. I'm sick of it. Like, what was it, like this like Danny guy or whatever on Twitter that was talking about some like prayer being the problem. Oh yeah. And then like what was it, the mayor of Minneapolis said something like that. The mayor of Minneapolis. Oh my god, what was the quote? he basically insinuated what I said, where like prayer isn't gonna do anything because like he said we don't need like you don't have to pray because they were already praying. You know what I'm saying? Like insinuating like, oh yeah, that wouldn't matter. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fucked up. And I don't know. Like when any sort of like public figure like that gives a speech at a time like this, I always see it as bullshit. Every single time. Every single time. Because it's like you're not crying, bro. You don't care, bro. You're giving the most PR speech of all time. You're not really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you say like, oh, what if it was your kids? You know, guys, think about it. What if it was your kids? How about you do that? I don't see you reacting even a quarter as to what the parents are reacting. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because it's not your kids. Because you can still go to your lavish life, to your family, to your kids, to lay in bed with your wife and be like, damn, I really had to give that speech today. That sucks. And then you're gonna go to bed, wake up tomorrow, and deal with tomorrow's problems. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow is another day, ass cycle. So it's like, I can't stand it when they give these half-ass speeches like anybody cares. Like, I get it, they have to give a speech. They're the public figure or whatever. Like, anybody cares, bro. I don't care what the mayor has to say, bro. I really don't. I'm sure some people do. Maybe people above the age of 30 care about what the mayor says or whatever, but I don't think anybody under the age of 30 gives a shit about what the mayor has to say about something that happened that he showed up to after it was cleaned up. I bet you they got done sweeping the not sweeping. I bet you they got done mopping the blood off the floor before he even showed up to give his speech. You know what I'm saying? Like, you showed up when the tragedy was cleaned up and spiffy and the lawn care guy came through and cut the lawn for you so you didn't get grass stains on your expensive ass shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, get this rich guy out of here, bro. But I don't know, man. Either way, R.I.P. to them kids, man. That's fuck shit. And again, it's just the pure cowardice is so damning. Because, like, bro, you're literally going for the most vulnerable types of people, because you know it'll get the biggest reaction out of everybody. So you think your message or whatever is gonna spread higher because you're doing a worse crime, but no, it doesn't. And then it doesn't even give you a lot of infamy either. It just makes you more of a piece of shit. It just makes you more of a piece of shit without giving you any infamy. It's just, oh my god, bro. And then I would say it's also different when you're nearby what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live about an hour and a half drive from Minneapolis. I know people who live in Minneapolis. When I worked at the gas station, when I worked at the gas station, I knew a lot of customers that were coming from Minneapolis. And they had their own horror stories, bro. They had their own horror stories of how they almost got kidnapped, or, you know, how they had to, like, fight off, like, Somali gangs and the Kia boys that were trying to rob their car and shit. And the traffic, like, I hear horror stories up there. And then, oh yeah, the whole George Floyd thing happened up there. And, what else? You know? And that's another thing. The mayor of Minneapolis was sobbing at George Floyd's death. Sobbing with a mask on. But he comes to give this speech about the shooting and just keeping his composure, giving the classic speech. I mean, like, he's walking around pacing, but, like, it's an uncomfortable situation. I'd be uncomfortable too, you know? But my difference is I'd actually be up there with emotion. Then again, mainly, I feel like hyper intense emotions when I get emotionally stimulated. Like, it either does not matter to me in the slightest, or I'm, like, really emotionally stimulated by it. I don't know why. Maybe that's, like, the fucking autism or something I got. I don't know, bro. I don't know what it is, bro. So, But it sucks, especially because, you know, I'm a man. I'm not supposed to have those feelings, you know. I'm supposed to be nonchalant, but man, I've been trying to stop that since I was like in like 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? I can't help it. But me personally, if I was the mayor, I would have been up there sobbing with the parents. I would have had the parents right next to me. You know what I'm saying? Hugging them and shit. I would have felt so bad, bro. Especially because like I couldn't send my units, my troops to help them. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Oh, it would have been fucked, bro. It was so fucked. So, you know, it just, I would say, like, it sucks because, like, since I'm so close to it, it feels like it happened in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that, you know, only happens, that you only feel if anything happens to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it almost feels like if it doesn't happen close to you, it almost feels like it happens so far away that it almost is like, almost whatever. It dampens the effect of what really happened. But when it's close, it's like, oh shit, that was like right there, you know? Like again, with the whole George Floyd thing, I remember when the riots were going on, if I was determined enough, I could have drove the hour, 40 minutes to the cities and participated in the riots. Looting a GameStop, getting some controllers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Could have freaking saw George Floyd's grave and shit if I went up there at the right time. You know, it would have been like I could have attended his funeral. You know, I think was it public? I think it was was it? I don't know if it was public or not. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But if it was public, I could have attended it, which is crazy because it's like one of the like in recent times, it's one of the most like historic moments in American history because of all the protests and the riots and everything. Just the pure explosion that resulted after that, you know? So it's just crazy when it happens in basically your own backyard. It's fucking wild. And now we have that again, but for nothing good. Like, it's like no good news comes out of the cities. But that's just because, you know, the internet isn't going to push any good news. They're not going to push that good news. Come on now. But even if they did, it's just like, other than job opportunities, the cities is so whack. Oh, job opportunities and things to spend your money on, for sure. Like that's what you go to the cities for. Is like the restaurants, bars, shops, and jobs and housing, I guess. But I don't know, man. If I could choose to not live there, I would choose to just not live there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, man. So I don't know what else I can say, other than I don't know, man. I would say I'm just glad that I have noticed a decent amount of people are kind of shaking off that blind wokeism. You know what I'm saying? Because like again, since I was in like fucking middle school, it was nonstop, hyper aggressive pressure. You need to accept everybody for everything. And not give a shit about nothing, and that's that. And a lot of people were like, okay, because a lot of people just don't have opinions on shit. A lot of people don't have opinions on shit, they don't have stakes on shit, and a lot of people, to cope, just go with the flow. That's a lot of people, they just go with the flow. But if you're opinionated, and if you're willing to, like, stand your ground and be like, wait a minute, like wait a minute, wait a minute, let me think about this. Then they like it's like trying to stand up in a wave pool. If you ever been to a water park with a wave pool and try to stand up and like survive the waves, that's pretty much what it was like for the last like decade plus, trying to not just fall into line and be okay with everything and everything that comes out with these people of like all kinds, not just gays and trans, like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. But like in modern times, people are like starting to like get their feet a little bit and be like, you know, like why are we letting this slide? Like why are we letting 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds become trans? Like why is that a thing? Like they're young, you know what I'm saying? They're not even 18. They're not even adults. They have to get their mommy and their daddy to sign these papers to change their name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some people are finally starting to wake up to that shit. And that's nice, at least. Because, like, look, if you want to believe what you want to believe, I mean, go ahead. But don't just follow shit, just because everyone else does. Which, again, you say that, and then everybody's like, oh, I don't do that. But then they do. You know? No one wants to admit that they're the person that does that. And I'm sure for certain things I'm the same. But I would say like the falling into line to accept everybody for everything no matter what is never something I was fully subscribed to. Just because of my pattern recognition and just noticing that some of this shit is like, why? You know? Why? But I'm certain for other things that I can't think of at the moment. Like people who know me that have like that third party perspective on my thoughts could probably point stuff out to me for sure that like I've fallen in line with. But it's just nice to see people stop being sheep. You know, as much as like a, you know how like overused saying that is, it gets more real the more the time goes by, the more that I can witness it myself. The more that I witness it, the more it becomes like, okay, you know, especially with the internet, it's like whatever movement, whatever event or anything that goes on has the loudest voice is like the herd, the herder, the shepherd. That's what it is, the shepherd. Whatever has the loudest voice on the internet or in the moment in the media is the shepherd, and then it's like the first wave of sheep, bah, and then they turn and look at the thing. The second wave of sheep sees that first wave, bah. Now they're looking, and then repeat. Now you have the whole herd looking at whatever shepherd, going to it. Oh, next big thing, another shepherd comes out of nowhere, bah, and then the whole herd just slowly turns around, and then it's just a repeating cycle. There's like 10 shepherds, and then they just keep getting the attention of the whole horde. They go to it for a certain amount of time until another shepherd comes by and takes the attention away. It's like, it's literally like corralling sheep in a way. It's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's actually wild, you know? And it's wild to say it not as even a conspiracy theory. Because you can watch it happen. It would be one thing if everything was great and someone was just saying that, because then it's like, okay, now you're just whatever, like you're reaching. But if you watch what happens around you, you're not reaching anymore. It's just kind of how it is, and it's like that's crazy work. So, shit, I don't really got much else more to say. I just had to talk about it because a lot of the people I talk to just don't talk about shit that actually goes on. You know what I'm saying? They like everyone's hyper focused on their own shit, and so are they. You know what I'm saying? They're more focused on what they got going on and what they have to do versus, you know, some shit that happened elsewhere. And you know, fair enough. That's most people, honestly, me included. But like, this shit just got me heated, and I wanted to talk about it. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say. But deuce.